Michael Porter Jr. is having a borderline historic season. Where does he go if he's traded? And why would the Nets want to trade him anyway?
Gets it off in time. And he's got it, baby! Big time Nets win!
The only Net fans you know? The only Nets fans you know? Man. I mean, come on, man. Or are these guys?
Welcome back to Only Net Fans You Know podcast. I'm Peter, episode 115. I have a very special guest today from the Nets Kingdom family, Chubbz. What's going on, bro?
I'm good, Pete. Chilling. Life's amazing. The Nets are winning, playing defense. I can't be any more happy.
So Chubbz does the spaces on Twitter. He usually hosts the pregame, postgame. So if you recognize his voice, that's where it's from. And I wanted to have him on, especially for this issue. Michael Porter Jr. is in a load of trade talk. The Nets are expected to gauge interest in him. He's having a great year. And if you guys remember, he was a salary dump from Denver. All he's done is just put up 25 points a game, 50% from the field, 40% from three, 7 rebounds, 3 assists a game. Numbers pretty much similar to KD and Joker. He's the first forward in NBA history to score at least 30 points and make 5 threes in 4 straight games. He's currently in the top 15 of scoring. He's in the 98th percentile of shot making. Michael Porter Jr. is having an historic season. Why is he in the middle of all these trade talks? And why would the Nets want to trade him anyway?
If you're looking at MPJ, you're looking at this is a guy that's giving us 26 on great efficiency. He's 6'11", definitely could be a willing defender when needed. He's playing out of his mind. From the Nets perspective, you should look to field calls or just listen to what people are offering because you don't know long term, can MPJ keep this up? 30 is around the corner. His back injury could be a concern going into his prime years.
$38 million this year, $40 million next year. So a team acquiring him basically has a year and a half. He's only 27, has the history of back injuries. How do you value a Michael Porter Jr. who's having pretty much a all-star type of season?
I think it's definitely a career year for him, and his trade value should be high. But I think when we get into conversations, we're going to see how high is that, because trade value is not equal. It's different depending on the situation. I think if the production is sustainable, the talent is undeniable, you got to eat the contract. A team that needs a short-term fix is definitely going to answer that phone. Other teams are going to look at that contract as like, yo, maybe the Warriors, the Cavs, teams that need to compete right now and just need a desperate heave. Maybe they take a swing.
I think something that you missed is that MPJ might be ruining the tank. And as a team that's not competing, the Nets are going to try to lose as many games as possible. And he could be ruining that, right?
When you're looking at this rebuild, the Nets are at a point where something has to give in terms of getting that guy that can lead everybody into the next level. If push came to shove and we had to come to a juncture where we had to accelerate this tank and MPJ was, quote, ruining the tank, I guess you have to bite the bullet on that.
So Evan Sideri put out, Pistons are a team to monitor as a trade suitor for Michael Porter Jr. Nets are very open to moving Porter Jr. ahead of the trade deadline for matching money and a first. Deal that I put together, Tobias Harris making $26.6 million, expiring contract. Paul Reed making $5.3 this year, $5.6 next year, and a 2026 first. What do you think about that?
That deal, I take that in a heartbeat. Look, Michael Porter, you've put up beautiful numbers for us. It's been a short stay, but we gotta do business here. And if that deal catapults you into leading the tank to get a top 3 pick, you gotta take that. You just have to.
Would that open up a deal for Claxton to be moved possibly? In the right scenario, of course.
Claxton, I'm indifferent on because I do think we're at the bridge where he does need to be traded. But compared to MPJ, centers in the league are so wishy-washy. Like they're damn near the running backs of this league. Unless you're the elite of the elite. Career year for Clax, I can't go on without saying that. And it is a decreasing contract. It is important to keep that to note.
Forget about what deal you would be getting for Claxton, but would you feel more comfortable trading Claxton in general, knowing that you have a Paul Reed and a Day'Ron Sharpe, not only on cheap contracts for this year, but next year as well?
See, that's where I have the dilemma. I'm torn half and half. Like, yeah, but I'm torn on it. Not for nothing. All respect to Day'Ron and whoever we get in that hypothetical deal. But Danny Wolf and Day'Ron Sharpe defensively, I don't know if I'm ready to experience that over an 82-game season and say that's our future front court.
I think I'd be a little more comfortable, although I have to admit I am a big Paul Reed fan. I am a big Daron Sharp fan. Yeah, do I think those guys would be like the center of the future? No, I don't think that. Another deal that I thought was really interesting. This comes from Brett Siegel from Clutch Points. An Eastern Conference scout says Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. to the Clippers for a salary filler and a first round pick. And the players in particular were John Collins, expiring deal, $26.5 million, and Bogdan Bogdanovic, $16 million this year, and then a team option for next season. And that would be at $16 million if the Nets did pick it up. What do you think?
If we're looking at teams, the Clippers are probably the last for me because they just don't have anything compared to other teams. They have like the least palatable assets to get back in a trade. So if push came to shove and we had to come to a juncture where we had to accelerate this tank and MPJ was, quote, ruining the tank, I guess you have to bite the bullet on that. Granted, I did list the Clippers as a destination, but for that deal, nah, I don't really like that.
A couple episodes ago, I mentioned a deal around Michael Porter Jr. going to Golden State, and you had alluded to that earlier. My deal was surrounding Kuminga and salary filler. I think it was Buddy Hield in particular in this deal, and we would get a first back from Golden State somewhere down the line. What do you think about a deal with that? Because Kuminga definitely is an interesting player, but I'm not too interested in bringing him on the team for next year. He has a team option for next year. That opens up cap space.
I'll say this: if we had to trade Michael Porter Jr. right now, Golden State's the first team I'd call. So for me, it's not even the players we get back in that deal; it's the draft assets you could try and pry out of Golden State. Out of every team, maybe Golden State is probably the most desperate to get any form of talent they need. You can definitely try and finagle assets out of them. And I think you can probably get away with the most draft capital out of them. So that's probably my favorite deal of that bunch because I think we can get more.
There was some talk that maybe you would have a team like Toronto interested. And I kind of made a little mock trade for us to talk about over here. RJ Barrett, he's making 27.7 this year, 29.6 next year. Ochi Agabaji with a 6.3. You know what I'm talking about.
Agbaji, I have him in fantasy. I had to learn his name.
There you go.
I get you.
He's on expiring, and we would get back a first, and they have all their first available. What do you think about something like that? I personally hate RJ Barrett. I'll be very honest with you.
Definitely worth a shout to look into, but I don't think Toronto would do it because it's become very apparent RJ is the engine to that team winning. Scotty Barnes has been pretty underwhelming. If Brandon Ingram is not hitting all of his shots, you're damn near asked out. Grady Dick has been very underwhelming. Like just a lot of guys they have are just not providing what they need. So I don't think the Raptors would do that deal. Not to say I wouldn't take it, but I just think on the Raptors part, you really wouldn't do that deal. You try to do something else.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you now: is Michael Porter Jr. an All-Star this year?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, 25 points, damn near going video game numbers every other night. I mean, I don't see why not. It's all a popularity contest. We've seen Zaza Pachulia make All-Star, and Michael Porter Jr. wouldn't be the first guy to make the All-Star on a terrible team.
If you're the Nets, then why would you only take one first-round pick for an All-Star player that's going to be under contract for the next year and a half?
You know what? That is a good question, and I'll retort to that. Is it worth the gamble for a player with back issues? Regardless of how good the numbers are, this is a player with back issues. We've seen countless athletes that have been greats ruin their careers with back issues. So if a team is willing to really fork out the capital, then obviously you would take that. And if it turns into a bidding war, so be it. But for me, I think a lot of teams are looking at Michael Porter Jr. not as what he's doing now, but at what he is when we traded for him, which is essentially a salary dump. And this is a lot of money. And yes, he can make us good, but nothing long-term, but a short-term option.
What are acquiring teams getting from a Michael Porter Jr. exactly?
When you trade for Michael Porter Jr., you are getting a peak second option, minimum third option guy. Can easily get you 20 points in the right system. If you need him to be a shooter, he's proven he can be a wing shooter. Championship winner. It's a gamble I take. You're getting a guy that can score at 3 levels. If you need him in a system where you need another scoring option, you need that extra punch on your offense, he is perfect. He's what, over 6'10", 6'10" area. I mean, come on. What's more not to love? And even if you don't want that, he can be a pretty damn good catch and shoot guy. We've seen it multiple times over in Denver.
Michael Porter Jr. has been talking about how much he likes Jordy Fernandez.
I think Jordy he's a genius of a coach. We're a young team. We're going to keep growing, but he's a genius in terms of the schemes that he puts out, and especially offensively for me. The way teams are guarding me and really just face guarding me and trying not to let me catch the ball. The different creative ways that Jordy has our team, running plays to help me get touches and get looks off is really next level. He's making it so easy for me to play my game. So I really have to thank just Jordy and the offensive coaching staff for how I've been able to produce. But I mean, just being out there.
And I think one of the reasons why I think his numbers are getting an uptick, the type of shots he's getting in Jordy's system really helps him because he is really good off the ball. Like, he just gets a little screen here, he gets a little space, and he's able to square up from anywhere around the three-point line. I think Jordy Fernandez has done a phenomenal job of accessing the best of Michael Porter Jr.
For me, with Michael Porter Jr., number one, the absence of another scorer in Cam Thomas kind of aided to what we have now. Number two, considering the roster we have, shout out to the rookies. I hate to put them down. If we're really talking about, I need a guy that can make this offense work. I need a guy that can go out there and get me 25 points on a whim, score at all three levels efficiently. And Michael Porter Jr. is answering that call. And it's not like he couldn't answer. He had the talent to do it. And he's he's answering the hell out of that phone. So I don't think it's out of nowhere. I think it's by design. And it's just, I'm not surprised because knowing who he is and the talent he has, he could always do it. And I think in this system that we have, he's performing at a level that I think people that were fans of him in college knew what he could be. So for me, not surprised.
I'm going to give you some pushback with the Cam Thomas thing. Like, yes, he's going to get the ball more because Cam Thomas is out, but wouldn't that just mean that he's going to get more attention from the other team's defense?
Absolutely.
I would think that makes it harder. That's less spacing. And they know the ball's going to him. You know where his spots are. Like, there's game film out there, right? Wouldn't that make it tougher, not easier?
Absolutely, but in the same token, we've seen numerous times players play amazing defense and he just shoots right over him. So, like, I haven't seen Mikhail do that, haven't seen CJ do that, and I haven't seen Cam do that. Like, that's such a cheat code that it's like, okay, you're playing amazing defense on me, but whether I'm at mid-range or 3-point, I'm gonna just shoot over you because I have the wingspan to do it and I'm tall enough to do it. And it's just net every time. I don't think he ever missed that shot. Like, he just pulled those shots out of nowhere and just net. It makes no sense.
There's a lot of Nets fans that see him as a long-term piece. Do you see Michael Porter Jr. as a long-term piece for the Nets?
Yeah, I think it just comes how I view Michael Porter Jr. I don't view him as some Nets fans have said, this is a guy we need to keep here further than 2027. I just view him as a salary dump. I view him as, look, if you get the best deal possible, you get him out as quickly as possible. A lot of people are not bringing up, this is a 27-year-old approaching 30 with back and neck issues.
All right, I'm going to get your prediction here. Michael Porter Jr. is having a borderline historic season. Where does he go if he's traded?
I'd have to say Golden State. That for me is the most realistic option. That is they have the contracts to work that are favorable. They have the draft capital to work that are favorable. Obviously, you can take him to the Clippers, take him to the Pelicans, take him to the teams that are desperate to win. But if we're talking about the best package for the situation we have, where we can say, look, who can give us the best package? It's probably going to be Golden State. They got the players, they got the picks. And I think we have just enough wiggle room to try and say, let's get a little more out of this. Let's try and see how much we can get away with, not to fleece, but get a proper package instead of just this is what we have, take it.
Trying to get the contracts to match for Michael Porter Jr. is pretty tough. I know you're very big on the Golden State Warriors. I don't think they're the best fit. I think the Detroit Pistons might be the best fit with Tobias Harris, a pick, and some salary filler making up the deal. If I had to guess which team he would be going to if the Nets did trade him, I think I would guess Detroit. And if not Detroit, then maybe the Clippers, because I think they might be very, very desperate. Chubbs, are you ready for some rapid fire Q&A?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. Cam Thomas finally came back from injury, playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves, putting up 30 points on 9 of 15 shooting, 3 of 8, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. What do you think his role is coming back now?
I think how they played him the Timberwolves game is perfect, at least for right now, with him coming back off of injury. Him just be able to put up 30 points in 19 minutes. I mean, you go with that motto, you go with that plan until he's fully ready to be in the starting lineup.
What is the starting lineup post trade deadline?
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this curveball at you. Starting point guard, Anthony Simons from the Boston Celtics. At the 2, Jaeger. If you're in spaces, you probably know. So Simons, Jaeger at the 2. At the 3, Noah Clowney, MPJ. And then I think, would Claxton be in that deal? I don't know, but
He'd
whoever
have
that's
to be.
probably have to be. So it could be Sharp or Wolf as a starting 5. I say that to say this. It's been reported numerous times. Nets have been trying to get Anthony Simons. The Celtics and Nets have been communicating with that deal. I think this is the best opportunity to do that. The Celtics need cap relief. The Nets have cap space. We can definitely get a deal there going. We've seen Sean Marks and Brad Stevens talk on courtside. So realistically, if any move were to happen, I would not be surprised Anthony Simons comes to Brooklyn.
Maybe it's me thinking that Clax has risen his value a lot so far this season, but I think he's here to stay because I do think Sean Marks will do his typical trying to wrangle for the best deal available, and it just doesn't come. I really could see that happening. So if someone is going to get traded, it would be MPJ in my mind, just because maybe Marks wants to jump at getting rid of that contract. Maybe they see his value at the highest as it is right now. So I would send him out. Maybe you split time with Noah and Wolf at the 4. I don't know how comfortable they would be with putting Noah at the 3. We'll see what happens with that. But I think that would be my scenario. Where do the Nets finish in the lottery standings?
Ooh. I'll say this. Does Jordy Fernandez can continue coaching to win? That's
Yes.
the question. If it's yes, then you better hope the league figures out how to defend us and beat us, because we're probably going to stay where we are. Teams, post deadline, you're going to see a lot of teams figure out we need to tank. You're going to see teams saying, okay, let's try to get the best pick possible. Even if we're not in the lottery, let's try and get the best pick possible. So you're just going to start seeing more teams become less competitive. You're going to start seeing wins come out of nowhere. So if Jordy Fernandez is still going to coach to win, which, look, every coach has that right. Not all coaches want to coach to tank. No coach really wants to coach to lose, especially since we're trying to build something here culturally and whatever. It's unrealistic to think we'll be top 5 unless teams just curb stomp us post deadline.
I think I agree with you. I could see us finishing anywhere from like 5, 6, 7 in that range. Obviously, if somebody gets hurt, MPJ gets hurt next game, right? That's going to derail everything of our predictions for the trades and for the spot. But as of everything that we know right now, that area, those picks would be where we fall, and hopefully we get lucky. What is your favorite Nets jersey or NBA jersey of all time? It could be any era.
Okay, I'll give you 2. I'll do my Nets and my all-time favorite NBA jersey. For the Nets, there's a few that I like, but for me, I gotta go old school, jersey navy, the white, red, the navy. I could toss up with those. It's clean. It's not too colorful. It's not too monotone either. You can wear that as an outfit outside of basketball. I think that's also important, but it's just it goes well. It pops. It's uniform. It's clean. My favorite NBA jersey of all time, though, is a complete opposite. It's the Utah Jazz jersey, purple. Icy purple, mountains on the jersey. It's beautiful. It's probably my favorite, and I think it kind of represents my favorite era of basketball, where not everything's so minimalistic. shit is out there. Shit has character and personality. I just like that.
Decent answers, but if you watched the podcast before, you know that you're wrong. The Everybody knows what the answer is. The correct answer is the Dr. J jerseys. That's the best jersey in basketball. Classic. That's my favorite. I don't think anything tops it. Although the ones you mentioned are nice jerseys. Nothing beats the Dr. J jersey. All right, Chubbz, let's get some promo in there for you.
All right. Again, look, you can catch me on YouTube on live streams on Nets Kingdom. I'm co-host Chubbz. You can catch me on Twitter, Chubbz Nets. You can, if you see the little name there, just put a Nets on the end of there on Twitter. You're gonna find me there. 2026 Nets Kingdom Radio on Twitter. Nets King Radio. That is Nets King Radio on Twitter. I've been a little lackadaisical with that for a few times just because I don't really know where to go with it, but
he's
I'm
a
making some
DJ.
moves.
That's what he's trying to say.
Absolutely. Making some moves with it. I think I know what I want to do with it now in 2026. It's just up from there. So definitely check that out on Twitter. You'll get the SoundCloud through there as well. So definitely be on the lookout for that for next year.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed the episode, of course, you're watching this on YouTube. So like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. It really helps the podcast grow. You could follow me on Twitter at NetFans. I'll be on a lot of the spaces with Chubbz, Saint, and the rest of the Nets Kingdom community and the rest of the Nets Twitter community. And have a good day, have a good night, and let's go Nets. We're out.